Alrighty. Well, we got a whole pile of bin jacks to work with here. I got 4 big ones. There's 2 there and 2 there, and then that green one and this one with the square legs. Well, I guess that one's gonna split. This one right here are both small ones. And the plan is to get the 4 big ones into some kind of shape so I can use them. The 2 small ones are kind of, he really only gave them to me to scavenge for parts. And they need cables on them because there's not really, I think this one right here is the only one out of all of them that has a cable I'd even really trust. And I don't trust it that far. So we're either gonna have to do one of 2 things: either recable them or get new winches. And the winches on them are Fulton, on the big ones are Fulton 970s. And Fulton is still in business and they still make winches like these, but their modeling is different. And the way they work now is the model number also indicates the capacity. So if it was like, they got their T-series winches, which is basically identical to these, and basically if it's like a T1100, it means it's rated for 1,100 pounds. So if they're modeling, if they haven't changed how that works, then this probably means this is either a 900, it's a model 970. So I don't know if it's a model 970 series. I don't know how that works, but it'd either be basically 1,000 pound capacity or a 900 pound capacity. I haven't figured out which one. And we were looking through Northern Tool yesterday, and I can get brand new winches for these things with 33 feet of cable, 1,000 pound winches, for $30. And I don't think I could buy a new cable for all of them for what it'd cost to get just 4 new winches and not have to worry about it. So I guess what I gotta figure out is what the hell those winches are rated for and how much those bins weigh, because you'd be surprised how hard it is to find out how much a bin physically weighs. The only good number we could find was actually in a discussion forum of a guy asking the same question. And the only guy that responded to something, or that actually responded to the weight of a bin and not how to take bins apart, why people do that. You ask how much a bin weighs and then all the comments are about how to take a bin apart. That doesn't make any sense. But one guy did say that a 15-foot 7-ring bin weighs 1,600 pounds. So if that's the case, then there's none of them bins weigh anywhere close to 4,000 pounds. So if I get 4 new 1,000 pound winches and cables, I gotta believe I'd be all set. But I guess if any of you, I know a bunch of you guys have said you've moved bins in the past, so maybe you can give me a little insight as to what kind of rate or what kind of winches I would have to put on these. If 1,000 pounders will do, or if I need something a little more manly than that. But today, basically just gonna get them in and probably get the cables pulled off of them, so at least that's done if I do end up just putting new cables on. See what I can't do for the winches. If I can get the winches to kind of, because they all crank, it's just the only thing that scares me is the catches are kind of so I'll have to see what I can do about getting the winches freed up. Because if I can get the winches to work right, I'll just throw cable on there. But if they're still sketchy by the time it's said and done, I'm just going to put new winches on. But anyway, we've also got some rain coming in, which is nice. Hopefully this one's a blanket and not just patchy like what we've been getting. But we'll get one of these things in the shop and get to working. Alright, I got the first one cleaned up a little bit. I ended up, I pulled the cable off of it and the pulleys were all froze. That one was turning a minute ago. I don't quite know what the heck just happened. I need to get a nylock on it. But, put new bolts in the pulleys, put new bolts on the winch. I'm still up in the air about what I want to do with the winch, because everything on it turns alright, and the spring's missing, but it still locks. And if you go like that, and I'm not even 100% sure where and how the spring would hook, and even if there was originally one on it, because there's no lever to actuate the lock left or right. So in order to let this thing down, you have to sit there and hold it like that to let it down. So I'm wondering if there ever was actually a spring on there, or if they just meant for you to go like that and then let the weight hold it. Because there ain't no way, the way this thing's shaped, there ain't no way in hell that it can pop out of there when there's weight hanging on it. So I don't know on that one. Other than that, there's physically nothing wrong with this winch. It's everything. I don't see no cracks in it or nothing. So I guess I'm gonna have to swing by TSC on the way home tomorrow and price it, or either TSC or Rural King or both, and price out some new cable for it and see one versus the other how much it'd cost to recable it and how much it'd cost to put new winches on. Now, there's this one and one other one that are the same, and then there's two that are about the same height, but they're different. So there's two pairs, and the other two have different style winches on them. They're still Fultons, but they're 5-somethings. And I haven't got one of those apart yet to see. I'm going to do the other one of these first. I haven't gotten into either one of those yet to see if those winches are savable or not. So I guess I'll have to see. And that'll probably also be a deciding factor as to whether I just get new winches. Okay, seriously, what the hell? Oh, I know. Do this. A little more. I hadn't figured that this side would pull hard enough to... There we go. That'll work. But this one needed a nylock anyway, so not a big deal. For some reason, both of these pulleys are just cast steel, and then the holes or the center holes are right on size for a 1/2-inch bolt. I figured they'd put a bushing in there so that you can crank right down on it and not have to worry about locking the pulley up. But then I also had to put a new strut for the support strut for the rear of this one on it, because I'm not 100% sure how they used it the last time, because the one they had on it was the same length as the A-frame. So when you ran that strut out and got everything anchored, the jack would be leaning away from the bin. So I don't know, but I made it. It's the same length as the one on the other one of these now, so should be good, hopefully. Well, a few distractions later, I kind of got another one halfway ready to go. But this one basically settled it. They're going to need different winches. Because this one, the catch on it, pretty sure if you get enough weight hanging on this thing, the catch would pop right over center and down she'd come. Because I could just about push it over center just with the hand crank. So the other option we do have, and I'm going to ask some of the guys, like I mentioned earlier in the video, some of the guys that have had a little bit more experience moving bins. I got four good jacks to work with, and everything I've read, everybody I've talked to said on that 24-foot bin, which is the biggest one I got, 4 jacks more than enough. Now my question is, instead of having to buy new capstan winches like that, Dad can get his hands on 6 electric tugger winches, which are basically like the portable winches you throw in a pickup or something, but yeah, yay big. And they got you can tie off a strap to the back, and then they got the cable, and it's all in a nice housing and nice compact units. And he said he's pretty sure they're 1,000-pounders. Now, that would, with all 4 of them, that'd give us 4,000 pounds of lift capacity. And it'd be real nice because there'd be no cranks, no locks, no nothing, cables all. But anyway, like I was saying, that'd give us 4,000 pounds of lift capacity. It'd be nice because there's no cranks or anything to deal with. It's just toggle switch up, down. So for the guys that have moved bins, I got that 24-foot 5-ring, but it's got the 42-inch, I think is what they measure. It's either 40, it's over 40 inches, but it's not 50. Somewhere in that 40 to 50 range. 42 sounds right, but it's got the taller panels in it. And that's going to be the heaviest one I got to pick up. So that 24 by 5 ring, however tall it ends up being. So that is going to be my question: is if we could get those electric winches instead of having to get brand new crank winches, do you guys think that would be enough lift capacity? Because it sounds like there's a few of you on here that have had a lot more experience moving bins than I have. So that is the question I'm going to leave you guys with. And I'm going to screw with these things later. There ain't no sense, knowing Matt now, there ain't no sense in doing any work on them other two till I got everything to go through and do them all in one shot. So I guess that does it for this one, and we will catch you guys on the next one.